Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are safe and healthy at your end. I, Dr. Monica Bhatnagar, moderator of today's webinar on behalf of Physical Education Foundation of India, welcome you all for the second session of Physical Education Foundation of India 2.0. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat and hard work. It's a belief endorsed by our today's guest speaker by Dr. Abdussalam Kanniyan. He's always been a source of inspiration and motivation. Today, he will be giving his opening remarks on a very interesting topic, role of fitness for effective teaching. I would like to extend my warm welcome to our next speaker, Dr. Praveen Kumar, who is Dr. Praveen Kumar Singh, who will be presenting the concluding remark of today's topic. It is a privilege to have you both among us. I would also like to thank our viewers for taking out time from their heavy schedule for attending today's webinar. I'm sure you will find the program fruitful, engaging, and of course, a great learning. You may be having a lot of questions in your mind. Be sure to type your questions in chat box in your control panel and send to us. We would love to hear from you. Now I'm pleased to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Abdussalam Kanniyan. Dr. Abdussalam, ex-faculty of Health and Physical Education, King Fahd University, Saudi Arabia. He was first ranker holder and gold medalist in his master's degree and had cleared NET by UGC. He has MBA at his credit. He has presented papers in many international conferences all over the world, like USA, Australia, Germany, Spain, England, China, Singapore, UAE, etc. He has published many articles in reputed journals and also serving as a review member of journals from Europe and America. He has extensive 25 years experience in research and teaching in many universities of India and several other countries. He has delivered many mind-blowing, useful, and knowledgeable sessions related to health and fitness in many national and international webinars. Without further ado, I hand over the mic to Dr. Abdussalam. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for good words. I'm flattered. Thank you very much. So, shall we start the presentation or?
Yes, sure, sir.
Okay, I think the screen is viewable now. Dr. Praveen, is it okay now?
Sir, audible. You can go ahead, please.
Okay. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Monica, Dr. Praveen, the dignified members of PEFI, all the viewers of PEFI from all over the country as well as from outside the country. It's my proud privilege to be part of this organization and to be a speaker in this session. The title of our presentation is Role of Fitness in Effective Teaching. Role of fitness in effective teaching. If you know what is teaching and what is education, what is teaching and what is education? Education, if I ask you, you will have hundreds of definitions. By Webster's, it says the process of teaching to develop the knowledge, skill, and character of the student. There are a lot of hundreds of definitions. But I would like to prefer always the definition by Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation of India, which is told us by education, I mean the all-round drawing out of the best in child and man.
Doctor, sorry to interrupt you. Actually, you need to full screen your presentation.
Okay. I'm just looking for that. Prefer always the definition by Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation of India. 1 minute. Let me check with that one. because of the, okay, now it's okay. Is okay now?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
This
Thank
is
you.
okay now, sir.
Okay. Now, so this is the definition of education, which I would like to take by our father of nation. It is the all-round development of the child by his physical, mental, and emotional, drawing out of the best in child and man, the body, mind, and spirit. Now, when you take the profession of teachers, if you count the profession, there's a proverb which says, not the proverb, there's a universal saying about, if the output is counted, the teaching will be the highest paid profession in the world, because teaching is not only a profession. We are dealing with the most complicated and most precious gift of the earth, the children. We are the manager of the greatest resource, that's children. So in that way, we have to understand how to be professional in all sense. How to be professional in all sense. In India, as per the Indian tradition, the Bharatiya culture, Mata, Pita, Guru, Deva is the basic concept. Together with your father, mother, the Guru is treated. That means that is the most powerful and divine position of a human can get other than the father and mother. It's equal to the God. Now, how you can be, it's not easy to be a good teacher. You have to understand the various aspects to be a good teacher. That is the first point you're supposed to. There's a word by Aristotle. If you want to be a good teacher, you have to teach from the heart. You have to educate the mind of the student. Without educating the mind, there is no education at all. Without educating the heart, the mind and heart should be educated. So if you want to be a good teacher, you should understand in the philosophical way to be a good teacher. The philosophical way. It's told that if you're a good teacher, your good teacher takes the hand of the child. He opens the mind of the child and he touches the heart of a child. He touches the heart. He will take up the hand and he will open the mind of the child. So if you're a good teacher, you should know the philosophical concept and how the teacher has to be behaved and treated. The relationship should be well maintained and developed. There's another proverb which of Alexander Tinfer, which says, the best teachers are those who show you where to look. They will tell you where to look, but they will never tell you what to see. They will give you the freedom, the child, what to see. That's the freedom of the child, but they will teach him where to look. You look there and see the things, understand and grab the things, make out the things, and learn the things. So it's like the teacher should be a friend, a philosopher, and guide, and everything for the student. And as when you come in such a direction, such a position, it's a divine position, they will know how to take the best in student. Whether you're a physical education or a normal teacher or within the four walls of a subject teacher, if you're the best teacher, you should know to take the best in the child, to take out the best in the child. So usually there is a saying. That saying says, the mediocre teacher tells, good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. Is a word by William Award, which is always used in the teaching field. So what it says is, the mediocre teacher always just telling the things, just he will deliver something words. If you're a good teacher, you will explain the things. If you're a superior teacher, you will demonstrate. But if you are really the great teacher, if you want to be counted as a great teacher, you should know the art of inspiring the student. Inspiring the student is the highest level of a teacher. How to inspire? There are many things. In a classroom, actually, it is supposed to be 10% of the student will be really bright and well disciplined. And some 60 to 70% will be the moderate student. If you teach them, they will learn. If you say sit down, they will sit down. If you tell to do the homework, they will do it. They can be controlled by moderate works. But there will be 20% the backbenchers. There will be really problem for you. You cannot control them. They will have a lot of problems. If you are the good teacher, you should find out each and every backbencher. You will find out his problem. As told here, if you want to be the real guru, which is leveled up the God, as a good teacher, you will look each and every one of the student and find his problems. You will inspire him. You will solve his problem. You will motivate him. You will encourage him and make him to the real path. You will take his hand to the higher level. That is the quality of a good teacher. It's not easy. It's not easy. And it has to be developed professionally. So such a level should be created by each and every one of us if we are teachers in the profession. So that is called the professional way of improving the teaching methodology. So in this concept, there are different things to be developed. It's not an easy thing to be a professional teacher. There are many things to be controlled and nurtured as a teacher to be developed. In this, the first thing is the wellness of the teacher. Many components are there for wellness, we know that. But usually, when it comes to fitness, most of us think that it's physical fitness. When I put the title, I know when the teachers who are watching, the role of fitness means they will think it's about the physical fitness. I'm pretty sure about that. But I say, is not only physical fitness you're supposed to develop. It's, of course, it has to be developed. But there are things which you want to have. So what are the components? As I mentioned you before, there are some kind of 6 components for wellness. But when you take back, at least you have to have 3 components. Okay, this is going fast. 3 components which is supposed to develop. It is called the physical fitness and your mental fitness and your emotional fitness. So physical fitness, of course, is to be developed. But the most important fitness together with physical fitness is mental fitness. Mental fitness. What do you mean by mental fitness? How can you develop it? How can you maintain it? Is very important to be a teacher. I have seen in my teaching experience, there are a lot of teachers in the teaching profession. They are mentally imbalanced. Mentally imbalanced. What do you mean by mental fitness is, we should be able to understand our level of fitness, our abilities, our capabilities, and we should know the limits and limitation of a child, the environmental conditions, our physical resources, our total condition of a classroom, whether it is inside or outside. And according to that, you have to analyze the things and balance the things. So accordingly, when you behave, control the things, your behavioral modifications, then you can say you are having a sufficient mental fitness. So we have to always introspect, look back and analyze, am I having sufficient mental fitness? Am I treating my child means my student, with a balanced mental fitness? This is to be evaluated by each and every one of us. So this is very important. Rather than physical fitness, if you count now, is the mental fitness is more important. So And again, so Aristotle says, active exercise of the mind constitutes the life, the energy of your mind. If you're having the sufficient mind, you can lead your body left and right. So it is the mind always controlling the body. And if the mind is reversed, the body will behave accordingly. This is one aspect, and I will come back to the reverse also. Now, the mental health is not only the absence of mental fitness, it's a state of well-being. Individual realizes his own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, and can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to her community. This is the definition by World Health Organization. So this is the level of mental fitness we're supposed to have. And what about the emotional fitness? I always mention at the beginning of the session, we have to be professional. We have to be professional. Actually, what do you mean by professional? Is a question to be discussed. The professional means, if you're a professional teacher, I know many teachers, they're taking their domestic problems into classrooms. And as a teacher, I have heard many students complaining about teachers. They used to tell me, sir, doctor, that teacher, he has problem with his partner yesterday night. And he is taking that revenge towards us. Is mostly seen with the, I'm not blaming, but it's not only mostly seen in the female counterparts in the teaching profession. They are having problems. What I'm telling, if they have a domestic problem, that will be always taken to the classroom. They will behave rudely to the students. So that will be observed in a different direction. So if you are emotionally balanced, that is very, very important to be a professional teacher. You should close all your physical or psychological or emotional problems before you enter into the classroom. When you step into the classroom, forget about the other things. You never pay, the students never pay for your imbalanced behavior. So that is the way to reward to the students, and they want to reverse to count you at the level of their mother, pida, their father and mother, and equal to God. You should not be biased on the basis of religion or region or politics or whatever be the components. Then only you can say you're a divine teacher. So the emotional fitness should be well maintained and well learned by a professional teacher, whether in the physical education or a subject teacher of other disciplines. That's very important. So this is these are the basic three components which you're supposed to learn. To learn means learning is the lifelong process, whether you are 50 years old, 40 years old, 20 years old. So you have to modify the behavior if you are a responsible, growing professor in the field of education and physical education. This is the most important thing that you're supposed to. Now, when you come back to the physical fitness, there will be a misunderstanding. Only the physical education teachers should have the fitness. It's not about. I'm generally speaking, whether you're a physical education teacher or a non-physical education teacher, you should have ample fitness to cater the level of teaching at all levels. And to the professional level, as I'm again telling, you should have the sufficient energy to deliver, to impart your knowledge, whether it is a theoretical or in a practical session. And you should have the sufficient skill as well. But whatever the skill you're having, you should have ample physical fitness. Now, in subject teachers or in physical education teachers, the problems we usually see is the problems with long-standing positions. There is like a professional vocational problems, which can be seen in subject teachers or physical education teachers, which is called the plantar fasciitis. The calcaneus bone and the lower part of the leg getting pain and is alleviated, and teachers cannot sustain more time on the classroom. This is a problem which is always seen for all the subject teachers, and they used to come to us and say, what is the solution? So you have to have the basic adjustment mechanism if you're a subject teacher or a physical education teacher for plantar fasciitis, which we'll discuss later. This is the scene which will be happening when you have plantar fasciitis, the problems on the lower part of your foot that will be radiated from the heel to the top, and it is compressed on the heel on the more dense part, and you will feel on the red part of the whole lower part of your feet. Another case is varicose vein for teachers, which is normally seen in female teachers. This is because of there are two reasons. One is longer standing cases, and also some teachers, those who sit for longer time. Because when we sit a longer time, what happens is the blood circulation through the gluteus maximus or the buttocks is restricted and controlled, and the blood will be going back to the heart, and the blood circulation to the lower extremities will be limited and controlled. And because of that, when the blood goes back through the veins back to the heart, that will be limited. So that will be limited, and those that will be dilated and controlled, and these problems are occurring as varicose vein. It happens due to two things. One is the efficiency of the heart, and also because of the restriction of the blood circulation. So this is a problem usually happening for the teachers, especially for the female teachers. So there's one thing we have to understand. Now, if you are sitting for a longer time, you can see the most important problem those who are subject teachers is the compression of the lumbar and sacral region of the vertebra and spine. So if you sit a longer time for preparing a session or to teach a session or looking to the laptop or doing the session like this, you have to know to deal it mechanically and efficiently, how to recover back to get your fitness to the normal level. You don't get paid for the things which you are staying for a longer time in front of a screen or for teaching or for doing the official things. So the stress on the lumbosacral region will be turned to lumbosacral sprain and lower back issues on a later age. So that is one problem which teachers are facing. Another one is the cervical pain here. If you look like this way to longer time, the pain will come to this part. It may lead to cervical spondylitis. Cervical spondylitis is one of the reasons for those who are looking on an abnormal position with laptop or the screen or the board or anywhere, if it is not exactly put on the normal angle for the human body. So that has to be learned efficiently for the ergonomical advantage for in our profession. The cervical pain can be minimized and limited and controlled by proper knowledge how to deal it. Another one is the sciatica. Sciatica is always seen as a big growing problem among teachers all over the world. So what is sciatica? You can see on the sciatic nerves. From again, I say it's called L4, L5, and S1, S2, S3. The sacral region, the compression increases and comes on the pressure on the sciatic nerve, and the radiating pain comes to through the lower limbs. So the lower limbs will be having a shrilling pain. That shrilling pain will sustain more and will increase to the further complication when you do the things again and again in a wrong way. So for teachers, especially for those who are sitting, the sciatica problems are seen more in common, especially in females. Now, the solution is how you can do. It needs combined approach. It should be actually multi-dimensional approach. So there are 3 suggestions for that one. One is vocational adjustment, your professional adjustment and improvement of fitness components and treatment modalities. So these are the basic 3. We can have to discuss with more things which can be done. The first one is how to do the things with easy and practical approach. Usually when it is developed about the teaching methodologies nowadays, all over the world, from the teacher-centered approach, they have turned to student-centered approach. And in the student-centered approach, it's called pragmatic approach. So you can see all over the world, if you speak about the best universities, they are always giving, they're following the principle of Benjamin Franklin, which always say, tell me and I forget, teach me, I remember, involve me and I learn. This is called pragmatic, because if you just tell the student, he will 100% forget. If you consciously teach him, he may remember or he may not be remembered. But if you involve him, definitely the student will learn. And in physical education and sports, we always incorporate this pragmatic approach. But in classroom management, usually the delivering lecturing method is always adapted. But what is the problem of teaching is, even for right now, if I speak for more than 1 hour continuously, the sound energy takes much of my energy and fitness. It's not a small thing. Sometimes even the practical classroom outside will not pay that much because sound energy is big. So you have to have the modulation when you talk. Sometimes you have to speak slowly. Sometimes you have to have high modulation. Sometimes you have to be with a different modulation. You have to adjust your sound. And also, if possible, you can give always the assignment even within the classroom. Group discussions, teamworks, and all other tasks can be given. And in the classroom, if you stand longer time, consciously after 20 minutes, maybe it's 45-minute session, at least when you lead the session, you have to consciously try to sit down for some time. That will reduce the problem on the lower part of your leg, especially those who are having high body mass. So that's the very important point that you have to understand. Sometimes you are being an enthusiastic teacher, you'll forget to sit all through the class. And if you have 3 class times or 4 class times a day, you will have a lot of physical problems in your later life. That will gradually lead to have this kind of problem, which I mentioned earlier, especially plantar fasciitis. So you have to know how to manage yourself for efficient teaching on a longer basis, because you cannot stop the teaching tomorrow. You have to do it up to your age, whether it is 60 years or whatever it is. So these things you have to understand, and you have to encourage the pragmatic approach by distributing the data to the students, the duty to the students and the performance. That will itself make them more efficient. And as I told you, you should be a friend, a philosopher and guide for the teachers. That is to be together, you have to incorporate. So that is one of the most important thing you have to understand for standing. And when you sit for preparation, always you have to understand the sitting methodology, how to sit effectively. So you can see the 90-degree, the angle of sitting to the screen. This should be from 90 to 100, the straight angle, and that should be 20 degrees from the screen, and that have to be adjusted. And even for the hand, your hand should be properly put on the straight, which should not be a discomfort for you. You have to check it about the position of the screen. So from the level to be a little down, and you have to look comfortably. This should be your position that you have to understand. Yeah, scientific knowledge will help you to reduce problems of sitting and the sciatica and all the nerve problems, which may lead to higher level complications on a later stage. Now, usually some of the cases, for example, now you're listening to me, we have to follow a different sitting position. You can see on the screen, don't lean forward or no need to sit like a 90-degree, but you can comfortably go back to 135-degree to have a good listening position like this. That will give you more comfort because the body is a little bit inclined to the chair on the supporting side, and the body weight will be distributed. The body weight will be distributed. This is the best position if you're listening for a session. That has to be understood. Now, regarding the female teachers, I want to have a special mention about the female teachers. Even Dr. Monica was there. She was the introduction, the introductory part. So why should I mention female teachers is, if you take the cross-section of female teachers all over the world, if you take the whole population of the teaching community, 70% all over the world is female teachers, 70%. And in developed countries, the proportion is very high. In Australia, 95% of the primary and 85% of the senior secondary are females. In all the developed countries, the situation is like that way. So as female teachers, they should have, as I mentioned earlier, they should have to have many physiological characteristics to be linked with their mental characteristics, because they have a lot of physiological abnormalities than men. So that is to be clearly understood. See, for example, why I'm telling is they have menstrual cycle every month. So during menstrual cycle, there will be psychological imbalance because of the production of the lack of estrogen and many other hormones. So whenever these things come to them, they will behave in a different direction, which frustrations they will take to the students. So they should be able to understand, okay, why I behave like in abnormal way. I should have to understand my own problems, and I have to readjust my behavioral pattern and to give the best to my students, because they should not sacrifice for my problems, and they have to behave accordingly. And you know, if you take the best teachers in the world, I always say, if you take a lot of best teachers in the world, you can see a lot of female teachers, you have a lot of male teachers, like Martin Luther King Jr., even in the Dr. S. Radhakrishnan from India, on which, on behalf of him, we are observing the Teachers' Day in India. But I used to say, a female teacher who contributed, who lifted a deaf and dumb personality to the top of the world. You may be knowing about it. That is Helen Keller. Helen Keller. The teacher of Helen Keller was known for her outstanding contribution to support a deaf and dumb personality at the top of the world. She is none other than Anne Sullivan. Because Anne Sullivan took care of Helen Keller with all the limitations she's having, and she molded Helen Keller to the top of the world by conquering all their limitations. So usually females dominate in the teaching field. And if the females take in the right spirit, men cannot be like them, because females are constructed and designed in such a way. They have more patience, they have more mercy, because they're mothers, basically. Mothers are always greater than fathers. I always say, maybe there are objections, I don't know. But female teachers has to be more taken care about their components to improve their proficiency to be a professional teacher. Now, when it comes to fitness, I want to give you a study about the Indians and exercise. Indian female teachers, there was a study by Madras Diabetic Research Foundation, Chennai. The Indian females inactive rate is 55 to 90%. That means 90%, maybe you can say 70 to 80% Indian females are not doing any kind of physical activities. And Indian male rate is of 45 to 70, you can say 50 to 60. But the females are comparatively less active than the male counterparts. And regarding the teachers also, this is almost the same, apart from the physical education fraternity. What is the problem? What is the problem for females if they don't keep the physical fitnesses? It will be affected for more them than the male counterparts. Because, as I mentioned you, for the menstrual cycle, they use minerals more than the males, especially calcium and iron deficiency is more seen in females. And the more important thing is, during the menopause time, 45, 50, 55, like that time, the estrogen production will be ceased, and the body redistributes the fat cells to their belly to gain the weight. And when they want to turn it back, the normal expenditure of energy will not be sufficient, because the muscle burns initially the calories than the fat. If you want to burn the fat, you have to do more higher level to the second level of physical workouts. So what happens is, when they keep as it is, all the problems come together when they go into the second childhood, or we can say from 55 to higher. So physical fitness should be an integral part of their total life's schedule for female teachers. They have to have a very conscious effort to build it, because for them, the life is very much difficult in the second part of their life. So when they do the exercise programs, normal exercise programs, what happens is, exercise always counteract with these things. The estrogen loss, that will be maintained by moderate exercise programs. And the serotonin level will be increased, and their mood and the depression will be reduced. Exercise producing endorphin and serotonin and dopamine, which will reverse the process of depression and mood out. And together, that will prevent their bone loss and mineral loss, and preventing them from getting the fractures. Because, you know, usually the mothers getting fractures when they fall in the bathrooms on the second childhood after 60s, than the male counterparts all over the world. So that has to be taken with due care and seriousness. Another thing is the viscereptosis. Viscereptosis is a condition your internal organs are deprived from its original inserting point due to the expansion of the diaphragm of the abdominal region, and they are going down from the original points. So for females, due to delivery and lack of fitness, lack of mineral loss, their abdominal region always gets very weaker than the males. But males, because of the lifestyle only, they're getting this enormous sponge. But the weakening in the weakness part, females having always the weakness than the males. So this has to be well understood by the female teachers, because it's called the quality life, or make them to lead a better life on the second childhood, especially after 60s. Now, what is the exercise program you suggest? The first thing is LISS. LISS means low intensity steady state workout. Low intensity steady state workout is always recommended. And that means you don't need to go for big runs or high level runs or heavy workouts, nothing. Minimal level of workout for a longer time, whatever possible by you. And combined with a resistance program, you go to the gymnasium right now, you can use your own body weight as the resistance, and there are very small, easy, simple workouts possible by sitting at home. And you can do stretching like yoga exercises and breathing like primer practices to improve your relaxation methodologies together for the benefit of the resistance training and the cardio workouts. Usually some people ask me, Doctor, what can I do if I don't know anything in my life because I have never learned any exercise? I used to tell them, look, ma'am, you just close the doors of your room, take your mobile, take a favorite song of you, just play it, just close the door, just dance as you know. Just dance for 5 minutes. Do as you like, no problem. Let others joke, no problem. But by doing 5 minutes, easy exercise, by easy dancing, by involving yourself, your mind and body will be rejuvenated. Rejuvenated. So instead of less, if you don't know anything, you can do whatever you like, but it should be to bring your pulse rate to 120 plus. When you pant like this, you can understand that you're doing something. And resistance program, as I told you, the half squats by sitting down, the sit-ups and many things. Even the plank, the easiest of using the isometric training by simply holding in the push-up position will do a lot. The basic measurement is, if you can sit in the plank position for 1 minute, you can say you're almost fit. To build your abdominal region and the core fitness, plank is always a testing methodology so that you can adapt. Now, what are the psychological benefits of exercise? It will reduce your stress, reduce state anxiety, improve your moods. Your self-esteem will be increased. What do you mean by self-esteem? If you are doing some exercise programs, and after morning, if you do to the classroom, whether you're a subject teacher or a physical education, you will feel a confidence that you have done something. You will feel, okay, I'm far better than these people because I have done something for my body. And also improved cognitive function. Improved cognitive function. Cognition is knowledge, and always understand that exercise will never inhibit your cognition, but always enhances the ability to learn. So always encourage your students, your kids, your fellow beings to do the exercise to promote their cognitive level and preventing from depression that you already know. Now, I'm concluding because the session is almost close. I just want to say something. To be a professional teacher, you should know how to walk, how to sit, how to deliver the classes, which is basically known as physical literacy. Physical literacy. So maybe you're a physical education or not. When you talk something, you have to have the basic confidence that you have it. Otherwise, don't speak. So if you're a physical education teacher, you have to build the fitness. If you're a subject teacher, you should have the morality to speak that to be a good citizen of a country, the first thing you have to have is the basic fitness. Because the proverb which says, this is the proverb which says, generations have passed away. A lot of generations in this world have gone. Emperors have lost their empires. The people of that country, they lost because of one and only one reason: their people were not fit. So for a fit country, we need a fit people. This is the motto of Physical Education Federation of India, and the government of India always encouraging for a fit India. I am speaking to you on behalf of this fit India. So for a fit people, the first component of our population is the teachers. They have to be fit. So fit means in all aspects, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I wish you all the very best to be a fit teacher in your coming life. Let this be a beginning for all of us. We can go together. Thank you very much. And I'm concluding, and I'm thanking you for your support and patience, for bearing me, for hearing me. Thank you very much. My address is here. You can contact me for any kind of doubts on discussions. I will be more than happy to share my experiences and my opinions. You can contact me. Dr. Praveen sir, are you there?
Thank you very much, sir. I truly agree. A teacher should be fit holistically. Very, very true. Not only physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Because teachers encourage minds to think, hands to create, and heart to love. So thank you so much for this great presentation, sir. We have few questions from our viewers. So I just asked from you, sir.
Ready.
We have one viewer who asked, we know that physical education teachers are role models of children, but how can they attract teachers of other subjects and education faculty as well?
Physical education teachers should attract, how can attract the other subject teachers? That is a question, right?
Right.
Okay. Look, I'm a physical education teacher, for example. Yesterday, there was a session in a training college. It was started at 9 o'clock. I'm just citing myself because this is easy for me. After my session, the principal told me, I never understood about me that I have to change my lifestyle to such an extent. And he was telling, each and every second of your talk, I was looking to my own belly. You understand? The principal was telling to me after the session. So what I'm telling is, if you convince other subject teachers first, it's not the role of physical education teacher to build fitness of himself or for the students, but it is the whole responsibility of the whole teaching community to build the nation. That is the first thing. Usually there is a misconception which is raised by the British Empire that discipline is the role of physical education. It's a very wrong concept. It's not physical education. So what you have to say is, the first thing, when you speak the life of the other teachers, they will definitely come to you. Yesterday, as I told you, when I spoke to a lady, female teacher in education, they were asking me questions and questions and questions after the session because they want to improve themselves. And I spoke about them, they want to improve by themselves. So the question is, when you speak about to the other subject teachers, they will understand you are speaking realities, not your subject. For them, physical education is a different field and they want to subside it. But we are saying health is for everybody. Sports is only 1.5% of the total population. We are speaking about the fitness, which is for the mathematics teacher. It's also for the principal. also for the vice principal, whether it is a physics teacher, whoever it is, the librarian. So when you speak, and if you have the stuff, they will definitely come to you. But the thing is, you have to convince them that you are speaking to them. I know in my experience, many students joking on the physical education. They say, teacher, you know, my physical education teacher, he's asking me to take the ball, which is inside, down on the right side of him, to bring and take it. Such kind of teachers are there. So when you are the teacher, you have to get the dignity and respect from the students and also from the other teaching community that you have to build, nobody will build for you. So you have to have self-esteem, and you have to have the physical proficiency and academic ability to build it. I think I answered for that.
Well said, sir. Well said. Thank you so much. We have one more question from our viewers. How physical education teachers can update their knowledge regularly, and how all new informations can be used for the effective teaching?
That's a very good question. Look, where there is a will, there is a way. That's the first thing. Before, in our times, maybe Dr. Monica may be knowing about it. In our times, there were no Google, right? The easiest thing nowadays is everything available in front of your fingertip. If you have, yesterday I saw a girl in the Gulf country school. She had taken 30 international certifications within 2 months during this lockdown. A 10th grade student from the top universities in the world. I never did that. You never did that. But it's available. So if you have the will, if you search for it, see, for example, PEFI have a lot of information in front of you. It's an association. And there are a lot of professional organizations. And there are a lot of websites of physical education sports. Top class journals are there. Plenty of publications are there. Everything is available. So updates are available on spot moment. So it's available. The only thing is, if you concentrate to improve yourself, nobody in the world can prevent you from getting better heights. And I wish you all the very best for that one. You have to strive for it. Whoever asked the question, don't stay there. There is no limit for you. You can catch up the sky.
Right. Very enlightening, sir. Thank you so much. We have that much only, sir. So now move along to our session. Please welcome Dr. Praveen Kumar Singh with us. Our next speaker, who is going to present concluding remarks of today's topic. Dr. Praveen Singh was worked in Kamala Nehru Institute of Physical and Social Science, Sultanpur, Uttar Pradesh, NAAC A-graded institute of Awadh region since last 20 years. At present, he is serving as head and associate professor in the Department of Physical Education. Dr. Praveen completed his bachelor's, master's, and MPhil and PhD from LNIP Gwalior, and he has also completed his certificate course in positive psychiatry and mental health from University of Sydney. He has also worked as a sports secretary in Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, Awadh University, Ayodhya. He has written 4 books, and 2 books on physical education are under publication. Dr. Praveen, he has many research papers. It has been published in international journals, and he has attended many national and international workshops, seminars, and conferences. He has been actively engaged in many welfare services also, and at present is a member of various prestigious boards and bodies like Sports Psychology Association of India. Now I would like to request to Dr. Praveen Kumar to present their concluding remarks. Over to you, Dr. Praveen.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Monica ji. First of all, I would like to give my warm thanks to whole PEFI team who provide me such a platform that not only to share my views as well as learning latest trends of physical education. And special thanks are offered to Dr. Piyush Jain and whole team, today coordinator Dr. Monica ji, Tarun ji. So let's start my concluding part. Dr. Abdussalam Kanniyan elaborate the theme with a good sense of knowledge. I appreciate your kind capacity. Almost touch all aspects related to fitness and effective teaching. What can I say? Nothing is left by Dr. Abdul Salim for me. Nice. He has defined very nicely about teaching, education, teacher. The definition given by him about teacher, that was the manager of the world greatest resources. Greatest resources mean children. It's very nice. I appreciate your sense. What is teaching? Difference among various categories of teacher. And I highly appreciate the various issues to teaching professions you elaborate. Really, I assume that that session will be just a psychological, will cover almost psychological parameters. But I was wrong. I found you prepared a lot. Various issues to teaching professions like plantar fasciitis, varicose vein, cervical pain, sciatica. You explained very nicely, and you also gave solutions to all of them. So once again, I will like to say nothing is left by Dr. Abdul Salim. I salute your preparation. But I am here to say something. So I would like to say, if you review focusing on research conducted, various researchers have examined the relationship among physical activity, participation in sports, and academic performances. One of the research conducted by Tredia and Seffert in the year 2008, Singh et al. In the year 2012. And one of the more research, Hillman et al. In the year 2008, time spent engaged in physical activity is related not only to a healthier mind, but also to a healthier body. Nothing is here to explain about what is fitness, what is factor of fitness. Directly came to role of fitness for effective teaching. What is effective teaching? Here I would like to define effective teaching as the ability to improve student achievement for nearby future. How it can be attained? Concept was given by Dr. Abdul Salim. That is only wellness of teacher. Perfectly right. Wellness of teacher, your physical aspects, your mental aspect, spiritual aspect, and emotional fitness. And as he said, emotional fitness is the most important aspects. I will come later on. So, how it is possible? We have to train our body and mind both. We have to train our body and mind both. So, first come to mind. When a teacher exercises their body, they are also exercising their mind. Keeping active on a regular basis can help sharpen his or her focus memory, helping him become more attentive in the classroom, and definitely improving recall of what he has been taught, making sure his students need to do well in school. He puts demanded energy and focus for the same. It also helps improve their concentration and attention both inside the classroom as well as when learning at home. So, mind must be trained. Second aspect is improving performance capacity with maintaining standard wellness. The dimensions of wellness as told by Dr. Abdussalam. That is perfectly right. We must follow all these. There is a saying that health is lost, everything is lost. For someone, it may be character. No doubt, if we are not able to put required pitch and volume with attention, teaching may be effective. Definitely not. Teaching is not an easy job, which put various physiological and psychological demands on teacher for successful outcomes. If homeostasis of the body is disturbed, your thoughts will be disturbed very easily. Various symptoms like lack of appetite, lack of sleep, hypertension, aggression, anger, blood pressure put hurdles in your learning. A healthy man may serve for himself, for family, for community, as well as to a nation. So we have to keep in mind that fitness is the richest possessions which is earned, not gained naturally. Richest possession which is earned. So I would like to conclude that fitness is prerequisite for effective teaching. Once again, I would like to thank Mr. Kanniyan ji, listeners, and whole PEFI team. Thanks to one and all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Praveen Kumar Singh. And now at the end, I request you all to support our ongoing campaign, Fit India Movement Freedom Run. This is our ongoing campaign across India, and I would like to request all of you to make it a big success. So I would like to thank you everyone. And now vote of thanks will be given by Mr. Manoj Kumar. Manoj sir, over to you. Kindly end address.
आप सभी को नमस्कार साथियों। मैं मनोज कुमार पीफी का सदस्य आप सभी का स्वागत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। मुझे बहुत ही हर्ष महसूस होता है जब हम आप जैसे ज्ञानी और विद्वान लोगों के द्वारा हमारे इस समाज में, जो समाज इस समय हम व्यथित हैं कोविड के कारण भी, आपके द्वारा, आपके माध्यम से पेफी के प्लेटफॉर्म पर हम सभी को जो ज्ञान का प्रचार आपके द्वारा हो रहा है वो बहुत ही सराहनीय है। इसके लिए आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इसके लिए मैं डॉक्टर अब्दुल कन्यान जी का एवं डॉक्टर प्रवीण कुमार सिंह जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं। आज उन्होंने रोल ऑफ फिटनेस फॉर इफेक्टिव टीचिंग टॉपिक का बहुत ही विस्तार पूर्वक वर्णन हम सभी के लिए किया है। जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि विद्या दान महादान होता है और विद्या का दान आप सभी के द्वारा सिर्फ एक के लिए नहीं, पूरे समाज के लिए किया जा रहा है और इसके लिए एक प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार किया गया है, जिसके लिए मैं बहुत ही थैंकफुल हूँ टीम पेफी का। स्पेशल थैंक्स टू डॉक्टर पीयूष जी, डॉक्टर शरद शर्मा जी एंड तरुण जी। ये हमारे पेफी के इस प्रोग्राम के नेशनल कोऑर्डिनेटर भी हैं और हर एक प्रोग्राम में इनका जो कार्य है सराहनीय होता है और टीम पेफी हमेशा थैंकफुल होती है आप जैसे लोगों का जो हमें सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, जो समय समय पर बीच बीच में आकर आप एक ज्ञान दे रहे हैं हम लोगों को फिजिकल एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड। और विद्यादान महादान होता है, इसी टॉपिक पे हम अगेन आपको थैंक यू बोलते हैं। और सबसे बड़ी चीज है कि पेफी हर समय हर वक्त कुछ ना कुछ समाज के लिए करते ही रहते हैं। तो इस अवस्था में इस समय पेफी द्वारा प्रचारित और लोगों को जागरूक किया जा रहा है पेफी फिट इंडिया फ्रीडम रन के लिए। तो इस प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से मैं भी अपने तरफ से आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि पेफी फिट इंडिया फ्रीडम रन को सपोर्ट करें। और ये किसी मिशन को सपोर्ट करना नहीं है, ये खुद के स्वास्थ्य के लिए, क्योंकि आपका स्वास्थ्य ही आपके लिए सबसे महत्वपूर्ण होता है जीवन में। और जो आज हमारा विषय भी था फिटनेस का, तो डेफिनेटली मैं अंततः अगेन डॉक्टर अब्दुल जी को और डॉक्टर सवीन जी को पुनः धन्यवाद देता हूं और ओवर करता हूं मोनिका जी को।
Thank you, Manoj sir. I would again like to thank you everyone for taking out time here and being a part of this wonderful event. I would like to wrap up this session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.